second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Time's gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One street over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Oh, let's get on into it. This is 1100 WSG. I'm U-Turn LaVern. This is one street over. What's happening one street over from where you're living? It is still icy. Schools are still out because I still got the goofy hat on. This is my we're out of school hat.
Oh, is it Elmer Fudd?
Yeah. Well, it is a high-end Stormy Cromer from the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. This is what they wear up there.
I got you.
And I'm telling you, my husband, it took him a long time to convince me, if you're cold, put on a hat.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it does a lot to keep you warm.
Heat rises out the top.
So, yeah. And this way, I don't have to fool with my hair. I just get up and put on a hat. And I get up at 6 a.m. rather than 3:30. You know, when we're in school, we get up at 3:30 in the morning. And so we've been sleeping in and all that kind of stuff, you know. It's going to be tough when we have to go back to school.
I get up at 3:30 in the morning to take a leak. And then I'm back in the bed.
That's so funny. Terry Martin, y'all, director of Parks and Rec here in Springfield. I can't believe you said that. Oh, good times, good times. No, but as you can see, we're still out of school. I don't know about tomorrow, you know. We had a
No way.
I don't think so either.
No way.
I don't think so either. Honestly and truthfully, I think Monday's pushing it because what people don't understand, you and I were talking about, this is the reason I really want to get you in here is because unless then what's Ilyu doing? What did I do, Ilyu? Did I do something wrong? He's fixing it. Ilyu Maldonado, we love him. He's like, quit talking to me. This is, you know, we're being fun in here. But anyway, President of Ebony's Broadcasting come in here and helping us out. But Mark and I, we were talking about the people do not realize this stuff is so thick you can't move it. No. You know, Mayor Vogel was in here yesterday, and he's going to get the numbers on what was spent to get this mess off of the parking lots, just to get people into the county office buildings. He was mentioning one business, and I'm not going to say which one it is because we don't have permission, but it said it cost them $60,000. $60,000 to get their parking lot clear.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Wow.
And again, I don't have permission to tell you who that was, but what? That's insane. But anyway, it's just, it is crazy. It's so expensive. And this is expensive people weren't expecting. And, if you don't have to remove if you can wait for it to melt, then you do. Yeah. And we've ordered stuff from Amazon over the last couple of weeks. Haven't gotten any of it.
Oh, really?
Because they won't come down our road.
Come down your road.
Yeah. They get to the top of the hill and they're like, nope. And they just go on by. And we keep getting these little notes saying, you will get your stuff. And it's like, whatever.
There's sidewalks, driveways,
roads,
side roads. Yeah, it's, I think what people don't, because it was 94 whenever this happened like this last time. Right. And it's funny because all my staff and everything, I'd be like, now you remember in 94, whenever it was like this, and they look at me and they're like,
No.
Terry, we were like 1.
Yeah, exactly. See, my twins were
Like,
2.
oh my gosh, I'm so
3.
old.
Yeah. And I guess they were 3, but we had just moved here. We got here in 92.
Yeah.
And, but I don't know. Here's how I don't remember it being cold afterwards. That's been the difference. I don't remember us having these super cold temps that kept the ice on the roads to where we couldn't get out.
Yeah.
That's been the difference here is we have just stayed so cold for so long. And then when that rain that we all thought was going to come in and wash it away earlier this week, it just glazed it.
Made it a little worse.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And when my dogs go running out across the yard and their feet are splaying out.
Yeah.
You know, because they're like, oh, it's like, what's going on?
It was the layers.
Yeah.
You know, we got a little snow, and then we got the ice. Then we got a little bit more snow, and then we got the ice.
Yep.
So, but I'll tell you what, kudos to the electric department and the tree trimming crews, because that is what saved Springfield.
You better believe it.
Because in 94, same thing. That's what shut all the electricity down.
Yeah. Too many trees and too many lines.
Trees. This time, not near.
Well, we learned from 94 that you do not plant trees close to power lines. I was telling Mayor yesterday, I said, I can remember them coming out. We had a tree that just kind of came up volunteer right by one of our utility poles. And it was threatening a line. And they're like, can we trim that? I said, you can cut it down. And they just took it down because it was a problem.
Yep.
And it could have easily taken out my power.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm like, no, you can have it. Go. You know, and people just don't think when they put trees out and it's like, look up, look around. Is it too close to your house? Is it too close to power lines? Don't plant it there.
Yep. But our tree trimming crews have done an outstanding job. Keeping them back, keeping them cut off.
And they did. They try to be nice about it. I've gone in and watched where they've trimmed them, and they have to trim them back. Yeah. But they try not to just completely butcher them. Right. You know, and I appreciate that. But nonetheless, when they're trimming those trees in the summertime, we're all like, oh, don't cut the trees. And then, boy, right now, we're all, thank you for cutting the trees.
Absolutely.
And, well, what has this done to the parks? How are we doing in the parks? What's the situation with our parks? I mean, are they open? Can you get in there? They're just shut down because of the ice.
Yep.
That's what I kind of figured.
And it's more like we're starting to see some asphalt, but it's more like on the playgrounds.
Right.
On the basketball courts, on the sidewalks, on the areas that we can't and we will not, you know, try to take a loader up on there and tear that up. Yeah. Trying to get that off. That's the major issue. You know, our roads are still terrible going in them and going around. But even if the roads were clear where you could get in them, it's still really, really bad.
I'm so glad this didn't happen during our winter wonderland. Yeah. It would have shut us down. Yeah. Would have shut us down.
Our pavilions that have the metal roofs on them, you wouldn't believe the chunks that as they melt have fallen. Yeah. And there's a section in between our splash pad fence and the metal building. I promise you it was stacked up with ice probably 2 foot tall. Yeah. Just where it was falling off the building.
And it will hurt you.
Oh, yeah.
Hit you in the head.
Yeah. Falling off playgrounds. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the turf and the rubber is still covered with ice. Yeah. So as much as we hate it, because, you know, we're the parks department, we want the parks open. Yeah. But it's safety.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's the reason I wanted to get you in here is because I thought I know the parks have got to be shut down. I mean, you have to be, and schools, of course, are still closed, and people that are out on the main roads are like, "Why are we not going to school?" It's like go on the back roads. Yeah, and it is treacherous, and just like Lee Marie, she lives off on one of the more difficult to maneuver back roads, and so she has not been in here. She wasn't in here yesterday, and so that's quite unusual for her because she's out and about and bouncing all around. Yeah. And if I didn't have my northern driver, I don't know. As long as you've got a 4-wheel drive, you can get around. But I wouldn't. My little Camry hasn't come. It's been in the shop. It's been undercover since it started. We probably need to crank it, make sure it'll run. But that thing hasn't been moved since before this started. Because I mean, there's no way. No. I can't imagine it going on this stuff.
Swift Road, Newhall Road, going out Dobbins towards Dobbins Road. I mean, there's cars and trucks everywhere on the side.
Yep, just still sitting there,
stuck.
Yep.
And it's still solid sheets of ice.
So, guys, spring is coming. We're looking at temps next week, 50, 60. But it's going to take several days of this. Now, we noticed a lot of melt on the parking lot out here, and I don't think OU has touched it. I think it just kind of melted. So we did see some improvement. When we pulled in today, I was like, man, we've had some melt on this parking lot. That's encouraging. So
if the sun's out, the asphalt
oh
will.
my goodness, it'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And we're getting, I think tomorrow we're like 50 degrees.
Today was supposed to be like 48 or 50, and then they bumped it back to tomorrow. Today's what, 33 again?
32 for the high.
Yeah, 32.
And then tomorrow's 50, but we're still cloudy.
Yeah.
Now, on Saturday, we've got 36 in sun. And,
The sun's good.
The sun's good, but those temps are not going to help us on those little shady spots. When you get on these back roads that are so shady, Mark and I, everybody knows we teach now, and but he also picked up a bus route because they're so shorthanded on bus drivers. He picked up 2 bus routes. That's why we get up so early. But so he's driving, the bus to help out the bus shop, and he goes, "You just can't believe some of the roads I drive down. We'll go somewhere, and he'll take a shortcut somewhere." And I'm like, "I didn't even know this exists." He goes, "Oh, I pick up kids over here, so I know this route." And I'm like, "You drive a bus down this?" Well, just imagine it. Curved downhill like this, still with ice.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot. And I heard Dr. Weeks say, he says, when we're talking about the schools, we have to consider these teenage drivers.
Sure.
That too many parents will be like, they'll let them do it. And we just, so that's the that's the dilemma, y'all. So hang in there, y'all. But
if it was snow, it'd be gone.
I know.
It was just the layers.
Yeah.
We're trying to get through the layers right now.
My kid that lives out in Jackson, they got exactly what we got, it seems like. And they're calling it lasagna.
Yeah.
That's been their news media has been calling it the lasagna effect. And that's what we had, so.
Unfortunately, we have a funeral today.
Oh, my.
At Elmwood. And we have been working just on that to get into the cemetery and the little square for people to pull in and get back out.
Oh, bless.
We've been beating on the road since Monday.
Are you kidding?
Just to try to get the ice broke up and get it off where it's safe for them to get in there.
I didn't know that you would be responsible for that in the parks.
Yeah, I'm over cemeteries too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I had no clue. I never dreamed that was y'all.
Yeah.
Really?
Elmwood and Oddfellas.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea. That's interesting. Okay.
For 3 years now.
Are you kidding me?
Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe 3 or 4.
I had no idea that was part. I mean, because those are historic cemeteries.
Yeah.
So my parents are buried in the historic cemetery up in Mayfield. That it was on the edge. I mean, the historic. Here's the cemetery. It's the one with all the statuary and just it's really a cool old cemetery. Well, that's where my parents and a lot of my family's buried. I mean, literally bordered the historic district. Historic district completely wiped out. Not even a tree down in the cemetery.
Yeah,
it's bizarre.
We're the opposite.
Bizarre.
We're the opposite this time. Our worst area was
the cemetery. Wow.
As far as trees
down and things like that.
Compared to the parks.
Yeah. Wow.
Now we had limbs down and everything in the parks, but the cemetery was the worst.
So will y'all go out and do all the tree removal and things like that? So your people will do that.
We've trimmed them, we've cut them. Anything that was big enough for firewood, we keep a hold of that for Winter Wonderland for our fire pit.
Oh, yeah.
And then all the brush we stack up on the side, and Public Works comes by with their brush trucks.
Well, and I had somebody come to my door. I had somebody come to my door yesterday wanting to help me with trees, and I thought we've been fortunate. I mean, that's basically we'll go through and we'll pick up stuff after it thaws out.
Yeah.
Because it's not in our way, anything that went down, and we'll cut some firewood and things like that, and then, burn some brush because we live out in the county. So we can do that when it's a burn day.
Yeah.
And you got to check. Don't just do that, But, that's very interesting. Now, what has this done is, I know, because you're playing basketball.
Yeah.
And so you can still do that, right? Or we still...
We started back, what is today? Thursday? Thursday? Yeah,
I know. I can't keep it track.
Just run together.
Yeah. Because you had to have missed all last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what day. Of course, we came in and got the center, all the sidewalks cleared off. you know, but we had to wait for the roads to clear up. I don't even know what day that was. So
maybe
will this be the second week this Saturday?
Is the second week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks Saturday.
Yeah.
When it started.
So sometime or another we opened back up. We had to play Sunday because we missed that Saturday when it started.
Okay.
So we played this past Sunday to make those up.
Okay.
And then we missed Monday, Tuesday. We did not have any for Wednesday. And I don't think we got to play Thursday, and we got to come back Friday, I think.
Okay.
And then we played Friday. Some of them did. We gave them a choice.
Yeah.
We would call all the coaches and say, hey, call your parents, call your kids.
Yeah.
You know, see if they're able to come in.
Can they get here?
Yeah. If they can't, just let us know.
Right.
And, you know, you're not going to forfeit. We're going to make it up.
Yeah.
But we need to know who can, who can't.
Yeah.
Because we don't know where they live, you know, on the side roads and stuff. So anyway, we got a pretty good turnout, and we got to make up some more games whenever it was. Yeah. We played again this past. I don't even remember now. It's just all ran together.
We had to go. We're, you know, members of the Madison Church of Christ, and so we work with Celebrate Recovery program on Wednesday night. So we had to go to Madison last night, and I stopped by the school on the way back through Greenbrier to take care of something. It's like 8:30 at night, and the parking lot's got people everywhere, and I'm like, what's going on? Well, they were making up a ball game. They were making up the Springfield game, and so we were playing Springfield last night.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like,
yeah,
and I didn't even know it. So
yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, but we played Springfield last night.
Because usually, you know, that rule's always been if you don't go to school, you don't play.
Yeah.
But when you miss this much, you gotta. I guess you just gotta do the best you can.
Yeah, because we're looking at a situation now. We had our coming home celebration, you know, where they crown the king, was supposed to have been last Friday. Last week was supposed to have been that week that we had all the dress up days and all that. And so then we were supposed to have the game on Friday night. Well, then we only have 2 home games remaining after that because we missed it. And so they had a home game Tuesday night, and they've got one next Thursday night, and that's senior night.
Right.
So they had to have the coming home on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
We played White House, and hardly anybody was there because nobody really knew it. And that they were doing we knew the ball game because that was a regular scheduled game, but nobody really knew that they were doing the court and all that. And so nonetheless, it's been just like, I'm talking to my teacher friends, and we're like, okay, when we get back to school, it's going to be hit the ground running because we're all so behind on everything.
So my son lives in Cottontown, and I think it was either Sunday or Monday after it hit, he called, and he was like, he said, Dad, do you have a torch? And I said, yeah, why? And he said, well, his crews were out clearing off everything, and his torch was on one of his work trucks. So he asked if I would come down there, and I said, yeah, I'll come down there and bring you the torch. Anyway, I went through White House down 25, and it was just awful.
Awful, yeah.
I mean, awful. But whenever we came in that Monday and we were feeding all the utility workers, any crews and first responders, fire, everybody that was in the county could come to the center and get a meal. Mm-hmm. And whenever I came in, Ryan was in there, and I asked Ryan, I said, Ryan, have you been outside of the city of Springfield yet? And he said, no, I haven't had a chance. Mm-hmm. And I said, listen, you need to really put the workers on top of the mountain, because Springfield was clear and roads were clear on the inner cities quickly. Yeah. And for people to get around. Yeah. And I mean, soon as you hit the gas station out there by Payne Chevrolet going to Greenbrier, you could ice skate from there to Greenbrier.
Yes.
But in Springfield, you were able to drive around. Yeah. So, you know,
they did
it was impressive. It was really impressive what Springfield looked like. Yeah. Downtown and inside right there, that fast and that quick. Yeah. Compared to anywhere else.
We were in here on the Monday after it hit. Okay, so Mark drives in again. Mark and I get out because this is every day where he's from, and so he's quite accustomed to it. He's super careful, and we always have one vehicle that is a 4-wheel drive. We just don't go without a 4-wheel drive vehicle. So he brings me in. We do radio, and as we leave, we did a little tour. We do our little live. We're like, okay, here are the roads. Yeah. We saw Ryan Martin out salting sidewalks on that Monday. He was out He was out immediately.
City Hall.
So yeah, and that's your city manager out salting the roads or salting the sidewalks Monday, that first day.
Absolutely.
So they did an excellent job.
They really did. They really did.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. I mean, it is a lot. There was a lot going on.
You better believe it.
That was a weather that Robertson County hasn't seen since 1994 with the ice and snow mix.
That's why the famous weather guy came into the area. And if you go into Nashville and see, we actually went into Nashville like Wednesday last week. Because we were like, okay, everybody's canceling appointments. Let's see, since we're out of school, let's see if we can't get some, appointments in and things like that. Because, we're old. We have to go to the doctors and stuff. Got to checkups. And so we managed to get in to see our joint replacement specialist. And we drove in, and it was so weird because everything was still caked in ice, but they didn't have the snow.
No.
They got all ice. And, that's why it was so devastating.
Mm-hmm.
It was just bizarre. Once you got almost down the bottom of the ridge, it just became all ice.
Yeah. And
I have some teacher friends that live in the Goulitsville area, and they were messaging me and different things, and they were just talking about what a hot mess it was.
Yeah.
So, and I think we still have people in Robertson County without power that are NES customers, because that's one thing I was talking to, I can't remember who I was having this conversation with. I think it was, I can't remember. But anyway, I was having a conversation with one of our community leaders, and they were saying that, on the edges of the county, we do have NES customers. And I thought we were all Cumberland Electric.
Yeah.
And I thought all of Robertson County was Cumberland Electric, and they said no. And so that really, did you know that? I bet you did. I didn't.
No, I didn't know that. I don't know who's.
But who's who. But I thought that we were all in Robertson County. Were Cumberland Electric, but I was really surprised to see that. But nonetheless, I wanted to touch base with Terry and just talk about the fact that parks are still closed, and it's going to be a minute before we can get back open. But also, too, the center is open if you want to get out and walk. Mark and I normally walk. We need to just come walk at the center today.
Come on.
Because we want to get out. We haven't walked because we get up and walk if it's above 30.
Yeah.
And
but if it's ice, you can't go.
Can't. We tried to get out and walk the other night because the moon was full, and we're like, we got to go back in because we're going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And so we went back in, and we miss our walks, but we could possibly come and hit that track today.
Oh yeah.
Lee Marie is asking a question because they've got the Tyler Head Run this Saturday. Mm-hmm. What's that going to look like?
Gina has to make the decision. We've offered for her to push it back till next Saturday and give her the pavilion, but I think she's going to make it today, possibly. Okay. We've iced and scraped and done what we can do on the front of the park, but it's the greenway. Yeah. It's just a solid sheet of ice.
Yeah. And so that's what she normally would do, would be use the greenway.
Oh yeah, she's got to use the greenway for that run.
Oh my goodness, bless her heart. Yeah.
The weather just hasn't cooperated to get rid of this stuff up here. We went to Hendersonville Tuesday, my wife and I, and it was like it's never even happened down there.
Even happened.
Yeah. It was like there wasn't even no snow in the yards.
Yeah, exactly.
There was nothing.
That's the same thing. We were out in Mount Juliet with the grandkids one day, and same thing. And they're back at school, and they're like, "Y'all not going back to school?" And my kids were all messed because we have our little family text. They're like, "You're still out of school?" And then I sent them pictures of our driveway, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely caked. And we were in Kentucky too over the weekend, and they're in the same situation, just up in Mayfield, and they're still coated with ice and stuff. But they look very similar to us right now. So
I had the state in yesterday, T-Deck, Daniel and Katie, and we had to go to Gardner Street because we were closing out that project, that LPRF project. So they have to come in and look at it. Well, they chose yesterday, and I was like, "Are y'all sure?" And they were like, "No, we're good. We can get there." And then they got here and they were like, "Oh my gosh!" Yeah. I'm like, I know. Yeah. And then when we drove down and we opened up the gates, I got them down into the park, and it was like they didn't go 10 feet from the car.
Because you'll hurt yourself.
Because it was a solid sheet of ice to get up to the restroom, and you couldn't get on the playground. At all, the sidewalk or anything.
Yeah.
and it's just falling off the top of the playground, and it's just dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, it's just still that way.
Yeah.
We've become an impatient society with social media, and how fast your thumb can move is how fast the new story comes up. But with this right here, it's just we just have to wait.
We just have to wait for it to melt. And you know, like we were looking at the temps, we will get, I mean, we got a little bit of melt yesterday. We'll get a little bit more tomorrow because the temps will be a little bit higher, but there's no sun. You need that higher temperature and that sunshine. By the end of next week, I think it'll all be gone. But I'm not sure because it is so thick and so packed. And
we got a lot of people that walk the track at MLK. The track is covered.
Yeah.
It's a solid sheet of ice.
Yeah.
You can't get on the track and get that up with nothing.
Mm-mm. And we don't want you to get hurt. That's the thing. And I keep going back to what Dr. Weeks said when I got him on the phone last week because we're in the middle of, you know, how many snow days do we have? Well, we used all of our snow days as of yesterday.
Okay.
So we had 10. Yesterday was number 10. So this is number 11 today.
We're out.
And and so, you know, what does that mean? We don't know. There is some speculation that the state will come in and waive some of the school days because of the fact that this hit statewide. Mm-hmm. And so that is the thought that it might happen. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen with the rest of February.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we get some of our biggest snows toward the end of February, and so
83 or 84. I can't remember what year it was for me. But yeah, right here we got a bunch of snow on the weekend. Mm-hmm. By the time Thursday got here, it started to clear up everywhere. I mean, a lot of snow, and then it would snow again, and we were out. They tried to make us go to school on Saturdays.
Yep. Well, see, I know Muriel Barnett talked about that as well.
Yeah.
She's about your age, I think. And she said that the same thing happened to her. And it was in the 70s. I mean, we had the same kind of situation when I was in high school that we were out for just weeks because it just kept snowing. It just kept coming back. And so, I don't know, guys. I'm hoping that we'll get a good melt over the next week, and then we won't see any of this again until next year.
Get her gone.
Get it gone.
Start looking for the.
When's baseball supposed to start?
Our sign-ups just ended, so we still have drafts. Which will be next week. And then uniform orders, and they get out on the field and start practicing in March.
Okay. So we've got
basketball's still got the whole month of February indoors.
Yeah.
Until we're done there, we'll be caught up. Everybody will get to make their games up, so we'll be caught up there. So yeah,
I'm telling you, and I just had no idea you were in charge of the Elmwood. God bless you. That's going to be that's a lot. That's a lot. But anything we're missing, I saw Ace come in. We got Ace, Timmermeier, and Brian Pulley coming in from United Way talking about the things that you can do. Relief, you know, the nonprofits and those kinds of things. 'Cause a lot of people, there's people who have lost income that are going to need some help. I mean, a lot of people, when you can't, you know, punch those hours in, you know, you don't get paid.
Yeah.
And so you've got businesses that have lost income because people are not getting out and shopping. I've, you know, been out. Mark and I, we just don't stay in. And so we've been out and about, and we go in places and they'll just be deserted.
Yeah.
And we're like, good land. And you just don't think about it. But just all those kinds of things. So, and two, just to kind of give accolades to those who sheltered people when power was out. And, of course, my father's house, all those things. So we're going to be talking about that. But before we go, is there anything else that we're missing that we need to know about the parks right now?
Just be patient.
Yeah,
we want them open as bad as you want them open.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got to be safety first.
Absolutely. And pray for the sun to shine and the temperatures to warm.
Yep. And thank your city employees and your county employees, because I'm telling you, I went all over the place.
Yeah.
I got out and about and went to Hendersonville and all over when this was done, and nobody was like Springfield.
That's right. We did good. Thank you, brother.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks
very
for
much
having me.
Your department, and we appreciate y'all so much. And be patient. And if you're going to participate in the Travis, or if you're going to participate in the Tyler Head Run, that's up in the air because, you know, you think that she'll be making the decision today, but that Greenway is still iced over. And so it's going to be really tough to be able to do that on Saturday. So it might get pushed a week.
Yeah.
Pushed out a week.
Yeah.
And,
I think I didn't get to speak to her personally yesterday. She came in the center, but I think her I can't remember if Martha said that she was going to have to make her final decision today or tomorrow.
Okay.
And we were hoping today was going to be that 48, 50 degree day because it was supposed to be earlier in the week.
Right.
And now it's bumped back another day.
Yeah, exactly. So, we might see enough melt tomorrow, but I just don't know. It's just in the shaded areas, it's rough. But you know, you just never know. So anyway, we'll keep our ear to the ground for information on that run, and we'll be back at it in a week.
What do we got? Let's figure this out. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. About November, there's probably going to be a lot of babies born.
Oh, are you? You're not the only one that said that. Oh, you're so funny. But yes, we're gonna be having a whole new baby rush. That is hysterical.
Big jump.
That's funny. I love you, brother. That's
Happy
great.
Valentine's Day if I don't see you again.
Yes, thank you. You too. Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, that's next weekend, guys. We've got Valentine's Day coming up a week from Saturday, so all kinds of stuff coming up and going on. So we're gonna let we're gonna let Ace and Brian make their way in. But that was, again, Terry Martin. He is our Director of Parks and Recs here in Springfield. And we learned something new. We didn't realize that he was in charge of, his crew is in charge of keeping the cemetery ready, for the historic cemeteries. And so, wow, that's a lot. But as Ace and Brian are making their way in, let's talk about Brian and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Now, while you're sitting in, you've got some downtime, is a really good time to really evaluate all the things that you need to consider. Go ahead and slide those microphones back over, and y'all know how to do it. This is like old home, man. We got the two of them in here. This is how we started. But I'm talking about Barry and Rebecca. Barry and Rebecca Richards at Exit Prime Realty, our longest-running full-time sponsor. We love them so much, and they are experts at what they do. Just go watch their social media pages and all the awards. Rebecca just recently got another award, finishing 13th in sales for sales volume for the Exit Southeast District, and number 6 in sales volume for Tennessee, and number 5 for GCI in Tennessee. So, I mean, they know what, and I mean, just like last month, Barry was getting an award. They're always top of their field when it comes to what they do with real estate. If you are looking at, wanting to sell, before you do, make sure that your expectations about what you can get for your property are reasonable, and you need to get a free market analysis. You can do that. And if you're wanting to buy, how much home can you afford to buy? You've got to sit down and see what you can qualify for. They will help you do all of those things, whether you're buying or selling, or if you want to be a realtor, they'd love to talk to you about that as well, because they both came out of different careers to go into real estate, so they understand that transition. And this is the time of the year that a lot of people start, making changes in their thoughts and what they want to do and set new goals. They can help you with that and answer all your questions. They are cross-Planians. They've been here for 30 years, so they are specializing in Robertson County properties, of course, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. Barry has the brokerage office here in Springfield. She has an agency office in White House. Together, they make Exit Prime Realty. You can contact them at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com, or you can give them a call, 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425, or 7424, and always let them know U-Turn sent you. I was thinking on the way in, oh my gosh, having the two of you in, and I think we've done it maybe once since you got back, but it was just, I mean, I don't know how long I've been doing this show. I mean,
it feels like forever.
I mean, it really has.
So I came to United Way in 2019, and it
was about that. Yeah, it's about that time.
Started about that time.
Because I think you were relatively new at the time, so about 7 or 8 years is what I've been doing this. And we started over in the other studio, and then Ebenezer Broadcasting came in and purchased and moved. And they had we came in this morning, and they had Mexican music playing, and it was like. And it was fun. I walked in, I was like, it did. And it was so funny. They were like, oh, we didn't see y'all come in. And so they turned it down. I was like, I don't know. I was digging it. It was fun. It was festive. And, but anyway, so we've got our Hispanic side, and then over here we have the English side, and we do the same kind of thing. We just inform the public about what's going on, man, in our community. And we love talking to United Way because they are the bridge builders to the nonprofits. And
so good.
So there you go.
So
how are y'all faring with all the weather?
It was really nice to put on real clothes today.
Yeah.
It has been nearly a 24-hour operation since, well, it's been about 9 days ago now that
Yeah.
we turned into full-time responders. And so it's been an interesting bit of time, but actually a really rewarding bit of time. So the lost sleep has been well worth it. Anytime we're able to connect someone with a resource, get them in shelter, that has been worth every moment of lost sleep. So it's just, I joked, I know I've said this to Brian, but, when I think about my water heater was busted, I was out of power for, just under 24 hours. But you know what? My first world problems are nothing to these people that have had no power for an extended period of time or unable to leave their home. I can't imagine the isolation that people are feeling. And, yeah, so it's just we have to count our blessings. We may feel like our lives are bad, but there are a lot of stories out there that are just telling of our situation. So anyway, just grateful for the opportunity to be able to serve. I'll say it's been wonderful to get to work with Blake Pierce at Robertson County EMA. I have to give a huge shout out to him. He has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
We came in to the process as a kind of the bridge builder, like you said, to the nonprofit world, also to those community needs. So it's been really wonderful. We turned on January 29th. Let me back up and say that with any kind of disaster response, you have to be really careful when you turn on your response time, right? Because you are you're making sure that you're serving the people at the right amount of time, but then also when you're asking volunteers or others to help you, you have to be extremely careful. So just know that January 29th was the time that we turned it on. And when we turned that on, and when I say that, excuse me, I should back up and say we have a form that was developed for our community to be able to report their needs. So things like food and water, damage, debris removal, if they had flooding in their home or if they're going to have flooding in their home. And that link was actually posted on Robertson County EMA's website, as well as a damage report opportunity. So if you have damage to your home following Winter Storm Fern, we encourage you to both report your needs. If you have those debris removal needs, most have recovered from the immediate need of food and water, shelter, things like that. But then we're moving into now the recovery phase of that. We also have an opportunity to volunteer. Encourage you to, if you are looking for an opportunity to volunteer. We've got the green light to do so. We've been collecting people, volunteers and the trying to create an opportunity for people to go out when it's safe. And again, we've got the green light. We need to work through the opportunity to serve those who have reported debris where we can actually go in to help remove that off the home or out of the driveway, or to help the individuals who have had that assessed by their homeowner's insurance, if it's applicable, so forth and so on. So it's been a lot of that. I'll also have to say the coordinated effort between our nonprofit partners and those needs that were coming in has been outstanding. When this all started happening and we were going to start collecting community needs, I said, okay, Sherry Martell at United Ministries, I'm going to need your help and I can't wear you out. So I reached out to Debbie Mitchell at 10 Kids Nutrition and I said, hey, do you have any resources that we can potentially, so that we're helping to offset all of that? Also reached out to several churches and got incredible response. Cultivate Church immediately responded and said, what do you need? I said, well, we need water. That's been a request that's come in. They literally had a Walmart order within, I don't know, an hour. That was delivered to the office, which was really just wonderful. Same thing with Fifth Avenue Uniting Church. They reached out to their membership and said, hey, they need some supplies, because our nonprofit partners were getting hit pretty hard, but with requests and me pulling things out of their shelves to get to people. And so, it's been great. They have without hesitation said yes. And what can we do? And you should see our office. It's kind of a disaster right now. But it's great to be able to reach in the community and people just respond and say, yes, how can I help? Same thing with the volunteers. It has been great to meet some people in this community I didn't know, which was really awesome. And they said, how can I help? I have a 4-wheel drive vehicle. I'm happy to go. I have to share this one story. We had a person who lived out in the hollers, and lived alone, an elderly person that required home health care. And the home health care worker reported and said, I'm really worried about this person. We can't even get to them without walking. It's like a mile long driveway. Is there anything we can do? So I actually had a volunteer who had, completed the registration, and he's from Pennsylvania. His name is Isaac McNanny. He's amazing. He's from Greenbrier. He's an up and coming country music star, and he's got a band. I think he's at Solid Rock Baptist Church here. He's the worship leader. It was so great to meet him. I mean, he just was like, what can I do? He went and got salt himself. He was like, if I find somebody that needs help, I'm just going to salt their driveway or their walkway. He said, of course, so he was the one that I sent out to to the haulers, and he went out there, brought her food and water, supplies that she needed, and then asked her, he said, can I please shovel your walkway and try to help get things cleaned up? And of course, she was very grateful. So he said she hugged me, and that was so sweet.
Oh,
so anyway, it's great. That's just one story of many. It's been amazing to see the response, both from the volunteer side, because that's kind of new in Robertson County, us trying to create volunteer opportunities in a coordinated way. And so it's been really great to see the response. And then, of course, moving forward, we'll have a volunteer cleanup day that we're coordinating right now, that we have to go out and make some assessments and communicate with homeowners. But look for that. Please sign up if you're able, and we can talk through all the things. And I'm going to pause because I feel like I've had a lot of words coming out.
But we just let you go, because those are the things that needed to be said, because everybody that they're like, okay, I want to help. Where can I help? And this is a conversation I had with Brian via phone call last week. Is you got to pause, because we got to evaluate it, but you do have to continually check on your people. I just am so proud that a home health care person said, I'm worried about this person.
It was so
wonderful that they did that.
I also have to give a shout out to White Plank, with Wyatt's, I don't know his official business name, but I think it's Wyatt's Lawn Care and Landscaping. Anyway, I reached out to him and I said, I have 2 nonprofit partners that are in the same vacant buildings, and they can't get open because their parking lot is a disaster. And so they then can't come serve. So thankfully, I have a really great relationship with United Ministries, and she was allowing me to go in and obtain the supplies, since she couldn't get out of her house. So we were making it work, but they did need to open. Both Cope and United Ministries, and without hesitation, he said, "I'll be over there today." He went over. It was a solid sheet of ice, so he did what he could, came back the next day, tried again. I mean, it was just so wonderful. Same thing, that home way out in the holler, he said, it's gravel driveway. I can't really do anything to it, but I can probably put some sand down so they can at least get halfway up the driveway. So just to shout, I mean, that's just like, without hesitation, people saying yes. Like, that is the coolest feeling in the whole wide world, when you have their needs that you see come in, and then literally you don't have to beg anybody. They're just jumping to the opportunity to say, what can I do for my neighbors? And that is just so cool. So I meant to say that earlier, but just a true shout out to the people that exist in this community. It's really, disasters are tough. They make you feel bad. It's like, we can't do anything about X or Y or Z, and you feel helpless. And then there's this magical thing that happens when you are able to respond, and it opens your eyes to how great this community is. And it's a sad thing, but also it's met with some really amazing opportunities to be grateful.
Amen. Amen.
And also think about how coordinated we've become. It's great. So just again, kudos and shout out to Blake. He coordinated all of us, and we're just working together.
He came
really
on
well.
like 3 times with me. I called him at least on 3 different occasions, as busy as he was, and took time just to talk to us and update us on different things. I think he was the one that actually I was talking to that told me that we do have NES customers in Robertson County, and I did not know that. I thought we were all Cumberland Electric.
No.
And so I just while you were talking, I pulled up to kind of get an update. I don't know about Robertson Countyans, but to kind of put it in perspective, NES, they had 791 broken utility poles that they're dealing with.
Yesterday they were down to 10,000 without power.
Yeah, they're saying 7,500 is what the number is this morning, and they have 1,900 line workers deployed. But again, they've gotten 468 poles that they've repaired. They've got 160 National Guards personnel coming in. when this is, I don't know what year it was up in West Kentucky, they had this happen. And my brother was saying that it snapped the utility poles going up the road just like dominoes and took them all down. And because we're, farm people, we have generators and all that. So we're okay. When this happened in 94, we were a roofing company. We had generators running. We had toddlers running around, but we were fine. That's one thing too. I think I was telling Terry, I don't remember it being this cold after the ice storm in 94.
No.
I think we were able to get out and to get functioning. Maybe some of us didn't have power, but it wasn't this extended cold. But I do know they had that in Kentucky, and the National Guard came and knocked on my parents' door, and like, "Are y'all okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, you want something to eat?
We're
We
farm
got you.
people. We got it.
We're country folk. We're farm people. We know how to do this." But it's there's so many that don't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many people they don't have. Number one, they get a generator, and they don't know how to run it.
Yeah.
If they even, because there was a lot of generators
Safe
handed out.
operations are really important.
You
'cause
better
you
believe
can hurt
it.
yourself.
You better,
yeah.
yeah. So there's just so much to it, and we're recovering, but I mean, we're still got a lot of ice out there, and it's not going anywhere until that sun and that temperature
Yeah. Hopefully this
coordinate.
Hopefully this weekend. I'll say too, it was really wonderful. United Way of Greater Nashville serves a 9-county coverage area, so footprint. And Airbnb actually reached out to our CEO and wanted to offer free night stays to individuals affected by power loss by the winter storm Fern. And so it has been wonderful. We have had families from Robertson County take advantage of that. We have I think I've talked to 2,000 people.
I bet.
It's been a lot. But that's the stories that are there. So just being able to work with Airbnb to do that, they have been incredible. We have some families that unfortunately are on that 210 reconnect day for an NES restoration, and it's of their power. And so that's a long time, and it's still cold outside. We have some who are also without power and water. A lot of families that we heard from, I've been staying in my car as long as I can. It's 40 degrees in my house. That's insane to me. With small children or pets, so it has been, it's been, again, one of those things where it's like, this is horrible, but also it's really wonderful to be able to connect them with a resource. So it's been some sad situations, and just grateful for Airbnb, the foundation that offered that opportunity for us to be able to connect those resources and get people where they can be safe. So
very good.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
a lot going on. Have you had any calls about pipes breaking in homes that didn't have heat?
Yes.
Because I mean, that was one of my best friends lives up in Ridgetop, and her power was restored on Monday, finally, after being without, and because she's off kind of by herself.
Yeah.
And my nephew is a pipe fitter up in Kansas City, and we were talking about it, and he says, does she not have any heat in that house? And he was telling us all the things that needed to be done to make sure she didn't start having pipes bust.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. When you can drip water and all these kinds of things, but if you've got exterior walls, I mean, and there's no heat in the house, it's like, those pipes can break so easily.
And anytime you're in a disaster, it's the immediate effect that you feel, right?
Sure.
So that's what we see right away. The long-term effects are those financial implications that come with even having to pay, to access homeowners insurance, right?
Yeah.
So, there's a huge deductible that's financially very draining to a lot of families. And so the recovery becomes the most expensive part. But a lot of families, have drained their savings, what savings they had, drained their savings just to try to stay safe. And that means in a hotel or in an Airbnb for some, because some of the hotels were sold out. So it has been really tough, and this is not the end of it. And so that's kind of where we understand that there's a long-term effect that we'll see and we'll feel, and try to do our best to help support those families. And of course, those nonprofit partners, when we refer clients in need to our nonprofit partners, and there's a surge in referrals, that means there's a surge in the amount of support that's being pushed out. So how are we making sure that we're supporting them in their response efforts as well? So that's important to us. And
very good. So Go, Brian.
No, she's good. She was on the front lines with all that. We work on the corporate partner side. We've had so many step up and want to help and reach out to help, and we're just so thankful for them. And I mean, we haven't really even had to ask a lot of them. They're reaching out to us and going, how can we help? And so we've been able to. I don't know what the current total is, but
I think just over $1 million's been
Yeah,
pledged.
yeah.
Not necessarily
wow.
Yeah.
funded.
Yeah.
$815,000 to the Winter Storm Fund.
Yep. So
Oh,
and
wow.
that's just people stepping up, and our companies that we work with every day stepping up, and they live and work in this community as well, and they have all been affected in different ways. But they're like, hey, how can we help? And then like Ace said, the next push here will be the volunteer efforts that we'll be trying to organize, and we've had a lot that are committed to that, and say, hey, how can we get involved in that as well? So we're just so thankful that we're just on our side as far as the workplace team, just trying to push out that information to make it accessible to people, to let them know, and also for their employees. I mean, we always think like these giant companies. I was like, oh, they're fine. They have a lot of people that work there that are affected, just like we all are affected by this. So we if you live here, you're affected by it, and so they're dealing with the issues internally as well. But their first thought was, how can we help? And that's a cool thing to see. Yeah.
Something that didn't really go talked about, but I mean, not necessarily, but a lot of the individuals I was speaking with have said, I haven't been able to work. I have no power.
That's something
I
we were
work
talking
from
about.
I
yeah.
work from home, and I haven't been able to work. I haven't had childcare for my children, so I don't have family that lives here. I have nowhere to send them. So it's like that. Those are the financial things that it's just like the domino. You talked about the domino effect with the power lines. What was the domino effect with financial, pitfalls, right? You're just like, oh gosh, just keep falling right into it. So it's really hard. Disasters have a ripple effect, unfortunately, that will be felt for a long time. So
That loss of income, it's been a long time since I've been an hourly employee, but I do remember, trying to get those hours in. And for folks that are trying to get those hours in so they can put food on their table and keep a roof over your head, it's devastating.
it's devastating.
And these businesses that, as I was telling Terry, I said, my husband and I, we don't stop. We keep a 4-wheel drive vehicle, and he's a northerner, and he's like, I've got this. So, we get out there and we've gone in places and they're just deserted. And we're not really seeing that now, but people are getting out. But you just think about the loss of revenue and
the small businesses too.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh,
they
devastated.
can't open.
Yeah.
They don't have people shopping. This is a tough time of year. Regardless, you have people who are personally affected with those effects, but then you also think about the small businesses that have inventory sitting on their shelves that's not moving.
There is the Cupid Crawl happening this
February
Saturday. So let's, that's a really good opportunity, guys, to get out and support our small businesses.
Please do.
Where you can, because I mean, we were talking, there was a ton of stuff going on Saturday. We're looking at the Tyler Head Run. That may be postponed until next Saturday. They're waiting on a decision today or tomorrow. So definitely pay attention to that. But the Cupid Crawl will be going on, and that's an opportunity for you to get out and go and shop local businesses and to, win some great door prizes and things like that as well. So really, the downtown area has been and continues to be extremely accessible. So come on in out of the hollers, as you say. And
and I'm going to tell
be
on,
safe,
on a
but,
small business owner who's been a ringleader behind that. There's a group of them, but Jessica Levesque, well, she's Herndon now, but Jessica Levesque, public house owner, has been really spearheading a lot of the efforts for downtown activity. She's a local small business owner. She owns 2 restaurants and a catering company. She's expecting a child, and you know what? She is putting her all into downtown. So she doesn't like to be shouted out like that, but I will continue to do that because she's got a lot on her plate, and she knows what it's like to have a good bit of camaraderie. Jessica Davis with Maison de Rev has been another. Jody Kolb has really come together. The small businesses downtown have really joined forces together to try to create opportunities to support each other, and it's just a beautiful thing. So I'm going to keep shouting out Jessica's praises, and she'll probably be very upset with me. But
Well, no, I love what she does. Love the public house. I mean, it's just, and I love what they've done with Bardette's. You know, if you haven't been in there, it's
she doesn't
wonderful.
take credit for it, and
Yeah, it's really cool.
So I will make sure and shout her out because I know the work she's put into that. It's
better
a lot of extra work, and that's for everybody's benefit.
So be sure and get out and support them, not just on Saturday, but be sure and get there Saturday as well. But Lee Marie's going to be back to work with her. She's got the resistant band classes today at 11 for $5, line dancing for 10, well in the square. And it's her first day back because, I mean, she lives up in the hollers and it's super treacherous. And so she's back down there. She's somebody that works in the, there through Crossroads Christian. And so they're busy doing a lot of fun things. And so just get out there and be a part of it. But Lee Marie's inviting you back. She just threw up a note, too, to get back over to Well in the Square today and get some exercise.
That's right.
So,
okay, I'd be remiss. I know we've been in disaster land. I actually told my team yesterday, I said, okay, we've been in disaster land exactly where we need to be, but the work moves forward. We have to continue doing our regular jobs on top of this. So have to make sure that we talk about our VITA free tax prep program, so Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. That's an IRS grant that we have. So we have kicked off operations. Of course, things were stutter stops. We had to adjust on the opening, but regardless, we have our a pop-up clinic that's coming in Robertson County. So we have that on February 13th. So just before Valentine's Day, you can get your taxes done. It's like a gift to you and your spouse.
There you
if
go.
have one of those. But yeah, on February 13th, February 24th, March 3rd, and March 24th. So you have 4 opportunities. The pop-up will be at Main Street Church of Christ. That's at 318 North Main Street in Springfield, Tennessee. Encourage you to please book an appointment. That ensures that you can get served in a timely manner. I do believe that they will serve walk-ins, but again, encourage you if they're going to serve their appointments first. So there's an easy way, and we can drop this in the this information in the chat as well on the social media page that you have pulled up. But just want to make sure that everybody knows we do have a pop-up clinic that's coming to Robertson County. Of course, if you're not able to go to the pop-up clinic on any of those days and times, we have 22 traditional sites, which means that's in-person serving across the middle Tennessee. You can go to any one of those. You don't have to live in the area. We just try to make it more convenient for the residents by bringing the free tax prep clinic there. Really great news. $84,000 and below is the income cap for this program. So it's a very generous household income cap. We don't set that. The IRS sets that. Now, there are some options for free filing online. We encourage you to steer clear of predatory programs, unfortunately, that are offering things like a loan or, the traditional taxpayer is paying. We have to say the average is $250 for a person to have their taxes prepared and filed. Those are dollars you can put back in your pocket if you fit within that income threshold. However, there are some other opportunities that are filing online. If you want to file with a tax preparer, so that's a certified tax preparer, if you're filing online, that's $89,000. And again, that's set by the IRS, $89,000 and below for household income. And then there are some other free options that have no income cap on them. Encourage you to check out our website. If you just get on your search engine, whether that's Google or Bing or whatever you're using, whatever you use, get on your search engine and type in free tax prep near me, and it should pull up our United Way site. And so please do check that out. Again, I encourage you to find an appointment, do it early, don't wait, and avoid those tax filing fees if you can help it. So again, I do want to repeat really quickly, and I'm gonna make sure I have the dates correct. I know we're almost out of time, but we have a pop-up tax clinic. So that's a free tax preparation clinic at the Main Street Church of Christ, February 13th, February 24th, March 3rd, March 24th. They're at 318 North Main Street, Springfield, Tennessee. Encourage you to book an appointment with a certified tax preparer who can help you prepare and file your taxes. The goal of this program is to ensure that we have dotted every I, crossed every T, and we maximize your refund. The free tax prep program was born out of ensuring families were able to access their earned income tax credit. It's been around for a really long time. We want to make sure that, again, individuals who are in need are able to use this program. they're not paying someone to get a loan, please don't do that. Please do it with the free tax prep program so that you save all those dollars for the preparation and filing, and then also you get your return direct deposited. Excuse me.
Yeah, and so you're going to end up getting it very quickly, and it works beautifully. And if you've got a team that's working, and get them in there, because I've talked to some of my students, and they talk about what they're paying. I'm like, no, you should not. No. You need to go to VITA and let them do your taxes, and to start learning the process.
Yeah.
So you're not one of these people that's intimidated by the IRS. I've never dealt with anyone, even when we did business, that was anything but kind and helpful with the IRS. They get such a bad rap.
They do.
And I just really encourage you to not let your taxes get you intimidated, to get in there and sign up for an appointment and get that done. Anything else that we're missing, guys? So fun talking to you guys.
So I could talk for days.
I know you could, but it's so
That's
fun.
true.
One more plug. I have to do one more plug before
you're fine,
we
you're fine.
end. Just please sign up through that hands-on link. Robertson County EMA has shared that. I know the Robertson County Chamber of Commerce also shared an opportunity to sign up. You're serving your neighbors in need. This is across the county. We pulled up the ArcGIS map that showed all of the requests, and they're all plotted literally throughout the county. So please come help your neighbors if you're able to. We want to do that when it's safe and, after all the damage has been assessed, but definitely encourage you to sign up. There's a waiver that you sign up, or excuse me, that you sign when you register as a volunteer with us, so we can put you right to work if needed. So encourage you to also stay tuned to the Robertson County Emergency Management Agency page. That's where we'll be sharing out the information. I believe the chamber will probably help us with that too. So anyway, just encourage you to sign up as a volunteer, come help your neighbors in need, and feel great about it.
Amen.
Fills your cup on both sides.
You better believe it. You better believe it. There's always something you can do. And if you're trying to figure that out, reach out to the United Way and they can put you to work. Absolutely. All right, guys. Thank y'all for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
So fun.
Appreciate you.
So fun.
Always fun.
Anyway, but we can do it again next week if you want to come in. Brian will probably be here. So anyway, but
I brought the A-team in here today, so this is it. It's a compliment.
That's right. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. Tomorrow is Faith Friday. Lisa Fort's back in. We haven't visited with Lisa in quite some time. And so Lisa will be back in from Redeem Her Now. It'll be a great day. And I hope you'll just stay safe. It's melting. I know, slowly, but it is melting. So hang in there. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.